Chapter 2001, Recruiting Qi Ancestor. Demon Immortal Qi Ju revived. He suppressed Heavenly Court, Southern Border, and the two heavens. News of this battle soon spread in the entire Gu immortal world. Everyone in the world was shocked to think that Demon Immortal Qi Ju revived. The world is really going into chaos. I wonder how many great experts will revive next. Demon Immortal Qi Ju was able to revive. There's no reason the venerables cannot, right? Oh heavens! No wonder they said Great Dream Immortal Venerable would be the strongest venerable in history. Being able to emerge as a venerable in this terrifying era means they have to be incredibly strong. While countless Gu immortals made their guesses, the three parties involved were actively recuperating. Dragon Palace. Sigh. I thought that I would be able to obtain Qi Ju's true inheritance. To think that it was a trap. Now that Demon Immortal Qi Ju has revived, and we actually offended him, what do we do now? It is all Xiao Hejian's fault. He caused our two heavens alliance to fall into this awkward position. Most of the variant human Gu immortals looked towards Xiao Hejian with animosity. Xiao Hejian smiled coldly. He knew that this was the act of Ice Crystal Immortal Monarch, attempting to suppress him. He had just joined the two heavens alliance, but because of his great strength and reputation, he was already threatening Ice Crystal Immortal Monarch status. This was the cause of the animosity from the opposing faction. Have you all said enough? At the main seat, Wu Shuai snorted coldly in displeasure. Instantly, Dragon Palace became silent. All the immortals shut up. At this point, Xiao Hejian showed a shameful expression. He bowed to Wu Shuai, saying in a tone of sincerity, "Lord Alliance Leader, I am at fault." But before he continued, Wu Shuai interrupted. "Enough. Keep quiet. Even if Demon Immortal Qi Ju comes, we have the evil dragon and Dragon Palace. What is there to fear? The most urgent matter now is the Qi harvest fruits in your grotto heavens." Demon Immortal Qi Ju revived using a Qi harvest fruit. This thing clearly contains secrets and profundities. We have not explored it sufficiently. How are we going to get rid of the Qi harvest fruits in your grotto heavens? If we do not act quickly, your grotto heavens will be in danger. Indeed. Lord Alliance Leader is right. My grotto heaven has already started producing a Qi harvest fruit. This fruit is absorbing the heaven and earth Qi of my grotto heaven. It cannot be removed by force. The same situation is happening in my grotto heaven. Right now is not the time to take revenge on Heavenly Court or defend against Demon Immortal Qi Ju. The most important thing is to get rid of the Qi harvest fruits in our grotto heavens. At once, all the immortals in the palace changed expressions as the topic was shifted to the Qi harvest fruit. However, this talk bore no fruit. The palace soon became shrouded in an atmosphere of panic and fear. Even Xiao Hejian was the same. Even though his grotto heaven had not produced any Qi harvest fruits yet, at this rate of development, it was only a matter of time. Even Ice Crystal Immortal Monarch did not have the mood to compete with Xiao Hejian. His Ice Crystal Grotto Heaven's Qi harvest fruit was the largest. He was in the greatest danger. Knight Heavenly Wolf Lord also showed a bitter expression. His grotto heaven was not spared either. A Qi harvest fruit was growing in it. Even though it was still small now, it was growing at a terrifying speed. But Knight Heavenly Wolf Lord was much less anxious than the rest. If the two heavens alliance cannot resolve it, I can get help from Heavenly Court. At this crucial juncture, Knight Heavenly Wolf Lord felt that his decision to join Heavenly Court was extremely wise. Knight Heavenly Wolf Lord had a lot of expectations towards Heavenly Court. After all, the first-generation Heavenly Court Immortal King was primordial origin Immortal Venerable. He was a Qi path cultivator. Knight Heavenly Wolf Lord secretly informed Heavenly Court about this as he sought help from them. Heavenly Court had sent Feng Zheng and the rest to Qi Ju Grotto Heaven, but Demon Judgment Board did not enter it at all. He did not know what happened inside. After getting Knight Heavenly Wolf Lord's information, Heavenly Court learned the truth. Qin Dingling placed huge emphasis on Demon Immortal Qi Ju's revival using the Qi harvest fruit, as well as the disaster occurring in the two heavens grotto heavens. This was because Heavenly Court was not exempted. A Qi harvest fruit was also growing in it. She immediately summoned the immortals to research and think of countermeasures. Heavenly Court had deep foundations. Even after the Fate War, it was still the #1 super force in the world, especially when they had primordial origins chi path true inheritance. They had a huge advantage in chi path. They were at the peak compared to all others. And most importantly, Heavenly Court's research into Heaven Path was quite extensive. They had great results. Back then, even limitless demon Venerable was after their Heaven Path findings. He made the bet with star constellation. Heaven, Earth, and humans all have veins. Humans have human veins. The Earth has Earth veins, and Heaven has Heaven veins. The two heavens grotto heavens are all situated on the Heaven veins. Thus they benefit greatly, and the grotto heavens are nourished by the Heaven veins, producing even more resources. However, the world is changing now as chi tides are produced. Chi tides appeared because of the unification of the 5 regions. The Earth veins are becoming one. But the truth is, Heaven veins are also merging into one, although the change is not very apparent now. Heavenly Court's immortals found that the whole of Heaven and Earth was fusing into one. The 5 regions were just the start. The 2 immemorial heavens would start fusing together later as well. The 5 regions and 2 heavens were all separated originally. Their Heaven and Earth chi were not the same. But with the fusing of the Heaven and Earth chi across all regions, chi tides would emerge as the places where they merge. Wherever the chi tides go, abundant chi path immortal materials would be produced. Chi harvest fruits were the quintessence of them. The reason why the 2 heavens grotto heavens produced chi harvest fruits was because they were situated on the Heaven veins. They were facing the brunt of the initial impact. That is to say, as long as these grotto heavens relocate away from the Heaven veins, they will resolve the problem of the chi harvest fruit. Qin Ding Ling asked. Theoretically, yes. Or at least, once they move away from the Heaven veins, the growth of the chi harvest fruits in the grotto heavens will stop. Heavenly Court's immortals answered. Qin Dingling frowned. Once grotto heavens are placed, they are hard to relocate, unless one has some special method to move them around. Our Heavenly Court is too big. It has the foundation of primordial origin immortal venerables immortal aperture along with the future generations of venerables and countless immortal apertures of Heavenly Court members. How can we relocate Heavenly Court? Heavenly Court became silent. They fell into deathly silence. Maybe. Demon Immortal Qi Ju has a method. Breaking the silence, Feng Zheng spoke. Qin Ding Ling's eyes shined with bright light. That was true. The possibility of this was high. Since Demon Immortal Qi Ju was able to revive using a Qi harvest fruit, his understanding regarding Qi harvest fruits should surpass everyone else. But to get him to cooperate with Heavenly Court, how hard would it be? According to historical records, Demon Immortal Qi Ju will definitely not cooperate with Heavenly Court. Rather than him, we have a higher chance of getting Qi Si ancestors' cooperation. Indeed, we cannot resolve Heavenly Court's crisis alone. To get rid of this Qi harvest fruit calamity, we need a Qi path great expert. Duke Long had once given Qi Si ancestor half a portion of primordial origin's true inheritance. During the Fate War, Qi Si ancestor did not show up. He kept his promise. There is still hope of our cooperation now. But Qi Si ancestor has some relationship with Fang Yuan. In my opinion, this is a small matter. Ever since Qi Si ancestor appeared, all his actions state one motive. He wants to be the leader of Eastern Sea's righteous path, be it the Qi Si banquet or the resistance of the Two Heavens Alliance. They show it clearly. His actions do not align with Fang Yuan's interests. Even if they cooperated before, it is not our problem. Can't our Heavenly Court settle this ourselves? It will be too difficult. Ever since the immortal graveyard was destroyed, star constellations has not shown up once. If we can cooperate with Qi Si ancestor, we might even be able to get him to join Heavenly Court. We really lack someone with pseudo-venerable battle strength now. Qin Dingling sighed as she made her decision. Let's try it then. Chapter 2002, Fragment of Shi. Immemorial White Heaven. Aurora lights moved in the air dazzlingly. Eastern Sea Rank 7 Gu Immortal Qing, Huizi flew around in the sky of aurora lights. Unleashing Immortal Killer moves to continuously retrieve these aurora lights. After gathering the rainbow lights in his hands, he turned them into balls. The balls were then sent into his immortal aperture and buried in cloud soil. After some time, these aurora light balls would grow and sprout, becoming seedlings. By using lightning water and magnetic sound to water them, flowing light fruits would grow on them. Flowing light fruits were a rank 6 immortal material, formed from extremely dense lights, having all kinds of color like red, brown, yellow, green, black, blue, purple. Qing Huizi did not only pluck the flowing light fruits, he had his unique plantation methods. Precisely so, he was one of the 3 main sellers of flowing light fruits in Treasure Yellow Heaven. With the qi tides weakening the heavenly wind qi wall, I can also get past them and explore immemorial white heaven for immortal materials. This is my fortuitous encounter. Qing Huizi sighed to himself. Aurora lights were very common in the 2 heavens. They were produced abundantly. Qing Huizi collected these aurora lights personally. It caused the cost of producing flowing light fruits to fall greatly. He could earn a huge profit as Qing Huizi collected the aurora lights. He paid attention to the heavenly wind qi wall below him. He did not have the strength to survive long in immemorial white heaven. He could not even break the heavenly wind qi wall. Thus, he needed to pay attention to it constantly. Once the hole created by the qi tides start to close up, he would need to return to Eastern It was no joke. If Qing Huizi got distracted and got trapped in immemorial white heaven, with his strength, he would not last until the next qi tide. He would die in this dangerous immemorial white heaven. One could say that Qing Huizi was risking his life to get these aurora lights. But Gu immortal cultivation was not easy, even as a rank 7 Gu immortal. Qing Huizi needed to take risks to support his livelihood. Right at this time, Qing Huizi heard a voice. Next, winds blew and clouds shook. Qing Huizi was shocked to find out that the heavenly wind qi wall below him was being pulled away by a terrifying formless force. In a few breaths of time, the surrounding tens of li of heavenly wind qi wall got sucked into the whirlpool at the center. What is going on? Qing Huizi was overwhelmed by fear and shock. Is that an immemorial desolate beast? But I've never heard of any immemorial desolate beast with such strength. The heavenly wind qi wall vanished entirely. A secluded domain of heaven and earth that had a concave appearance could be seen. Next, this silhouette of the secluded domain of heaven and earth went into the nose of a Gu immortal who resembled a boy. Qing Huizi saw this boyish Gu immortal. His entire body and mind shook. He felt like cold water was poured on him, into the depths of his despairing heart. Demon immortal Qi Ju. Qing Huizi fell into deep despair. Why am I so unlucky? I only wanted to collect aurora lights, but I ended up encountering demon immortal Qi Ju. The Battle of Qi Ju Grotto Heaven had happened recently, but it could not be hidden. The world knew about it already. Even though the killer move everybody's vision wasn't around for all the Gu immortals to witness the battle themselves, demon immortal Qi Ju's appearance and methods were widely spread already in the Gu immortal world. There were a few people publicly recognized as terrifying beings that had to be avoided at all costs. The number 1 person was Fang Yuan. This demon had countless methods and outstanding strength. He did things without any regard or concern. He was ruthless and cruel. Even Heavenly Court had no choice against him. Wu Shui was also on the list. He was the leader of the Dragon Men, owner of Dragon Palace, which enslaved Dizong Sheng. He bore deep grudges towards humanity. Demon Immortal Qi Ju was a newly added person as for Heavenly Court and Qi Si Ancestor. Because of their factions, they would not bully the weak. Thus, they were not on this list. After Qing Huizi saw Demon Immortal Qi Ju, he recognized the demon. He stared in shock, frozen on the spot like a statue. Demon Immortal Qi Ju frowned as he looked at his palm. His palm was tiny and smooth. His body was still small like a boy. Thinking about his revival, Demon Immortal Qi Ju felt angry and annoyed that if he had some more time, he would revive perfectly and have the body of an adult. But the evil dragon caused great destruction in its movement. He had to revive in advance. It caused his body's growth to be halted. His potential was limited. After absorbing this heavenly wind qi wall, he finally recovered some losses from the intense battle earlier. After resting, he was going to set off again. Junior, come here. Demon Immortal Qi Ju looked towards Qing Huizi and called out. Qing Huizi shivered. He went towards Demon Immortal Qi Ju with a bitter expression, fearing for his life. Demon Immortal Qi Ju smiled lightly. He stretched out his finger as an eerie qi current flew out. The qi current quickly surrounded Qing Huizi's body. He wanted to resist subconsciously, but demon immortal Qi Ju shouted, "Don't move." Qing Huizi gritted his teeth, not daring to move at all, that he gave up on struggling. He let the qi currents enter his body and move around his soul. After some time, demon immortal Qi Ju absorbed all of the qi currents that entered Qing Huizi back into his own body. Instantly, he received a vast amount of information. He gained a much deeper understanding of the current era. This is truly a wonderful era filled with great excitement. Interesting. Demon immortal Qi Ju's eyes shined as he spoke in amazement. Next, he instructed Qing Huizi, "Hand over your goo worms." Qing Huizi's lips twitched. For an instant, he wanted to resist, but soon, logic took over his mind. He obediently handed over all of his goo worms to demon immortal Qi Ju. This action made demon immortal Qi Ju reassess him. After taking away these goo worms, demon immortal Qi Ju inspected all of them. He only took a few glances at Qing Huizi's light path immortal goo before he placed his focus on those exceptional mortal goo, especially goo worms like soul search goo. Demon immortal Qi Ju was very interested in them at the end. He even returned the light path immortal goo to Qing Huizi. Qing Huizi was very surprised. Demon immortal Qi Ju smiled. "Junior, you are not stupid enough to resist me. Who do you think I am? Why would I be greedy and take your trifling immortal goo? Scram now." Qing Huizi was in disbelief before it turned into deep joy. Junior will never forget Senior Qi Ju's magnanimity. "Ha ha ha. I searched your soul. Why is there a need to thank me?" Demon immortal Qi Ju laughed. "Go ahead and hate me. I don't care. Even though this era is great, in the entire world, in the absence of the venerables, there are few people who I can take interest in. Even though I lack immortal goo, I have not sunk down to the level of snatching light path immortal goo. I want to take some qi path immortal goo." Qing Huizi instantly had a thought. "Senior, you want to go to Qi Si?" But at the next moment, demon immortal Qi Ju waved his sleeves impatiently. Qing Huizi was surrounded by qi currents and could not move. He was sent flying by the movement of the qi currents. Demon immortal Qi Ju snorted. He did not look at Qing Huizi. He flew towards the direction of Qi Si instead. "I wonder how powerful this Qi Si ancestor is. I hope his qi path immortal goo will not disappoint me." Demon immortal Qi Ju carried great confidence as he went towards Qi Seed. He flew in the sky of Eastern Sea. He was surrounded by qi currents as he moved rapidly across various sea areas. He did not conceal his traces, causing huge waves along the way. The commotion shook the surroundings. His demonic might was exposed in full view. Along the way, he met several Eastern Sea goo immortals. These people scrambled in panic as they escaped. Oh. Halfway through his journey, demon immortal Qi Ju's expression turned to shock as he stopped his movement. He felt a movement in his secluded domain of heaven and earth. "Don't tell me." Demon immortal Qi Ju was slightly stunned. He thought of something as joy appeared on his face. He temporarily put aside the plan to head to Qi Si. He changed directions and went southwest instead. After some time, he arrived at a sea area. The sky here had many white clouds, shrouding his vision. He could not see any starlight. Even when the sun was blazing, the sunlight could not penetrate the cloud layers. It only made the place brighter. The surface of the sea was calm, but inside it were countless currents. These currents were of all types and forms. They interlinked with one another. They moved in this sea area with absolutely no rhythm or pattern. Without the defensive methods of a goo immortal, mortal corpses would be torn to shreds in the currents instantly. It was the turbulent flow sea area. After inspecting it closely, demon immortal Qi Ju became quite happy. Wonderful, wonderful. This sea area must have a fragment of Shi. That is the reason why it can create such turbulent currents. To think that my luck would be strong after reviving. I'll retrieve this fragment first and absorb it before going to find that Qi Si ancestor. Thinking of this, demon immortal Qi Ju plunged into the sea, vanishing from plain sight. Chapter 2003. Qi Ju suppresses Qi Si. Inside the sovereign immortal aperture, the disasters were still ongoing. The situation was slowly moving towards the abyss of doom. Fang Yuan's losses were severe. In order to save his resource points, He had already deployed the variant human and human goo immortals in his immortal aperture to different areas. They were tasked to take care of the resources, and they were even given mortal goo that could be used to detect heaven's will. Along with Fang Yuan's time path clone and main body working together to get rid of the newly created heaven's will, he managed to save all the large resource points in the sovereign immortal aperture. However, as long as the heaven path Dao marks were not refined by Fang Yuan, they would continue to produce endless heaven's will in increasing quantity. Even though Fang Yuan was using his full strength, he could not stop the situation from aggravating further. He could only barely protect his resource points now. But the sovereign immortal aperture was too huge. Resource points were only a small part of it. In most areas, heaven's will was produced, moving towards the respective resource points like a huge army. Fang Yuan knew that this situation was at its most crucial point now. He could no longer cleanse all the heaven's will. In order to prevent the grotto heaven's will from linking with the 5 regions, he had to create an isolated secret space in Qi Si to prevent heaven's will from detecting him. As for the external situation, demon immortal Qi Ju's revival was out of Fang Yuan's expectations. Demon immortal Qi Ju said that he would go and meet Qi Si ancestor. He was not joking. There were both internal and external problems. Now, it will depend on the effectiveness of this immortal formation. Fang Yuan's concentration was invested into this rule path formation. This formation was situated in mini blue heaven. It floated on its own. It was a modified version of the 5 regional limit formation. Fang Yuan had wisdom path attainment. He knew long ago that the situation would progress like this. He made preparations in advance and tried to come up with countermeasures early. Not long ago, he gained some inspiration and decided to mimic the Qi tides to deal with the heaven's will in his immortal aperture. And this rule path formation was the fruit of his research. Rank 8 immortal essence was already piled up at the side, stored into the immortal formation. With Fang Yuan's thought, this huge formation that covered the range of more than 10 li started to activate. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The formation created huge winds. As the sounds of the wind resounded in heaven and earth, countless Qi currents appeared from the formation. As if the entire sky was covered in steam, it was completely white. One could not see anything. The formation suddenly emitted profound light. The profound light landed on the white Qi and pushed it like a giant hand. The next moment, 30% of the white steam Qi moved forward like a gushing fountain. The profound light entered the white Qi and modified it, causing the scattered white Qi to become more concentrated. Finally, the white Qi that was pushed out turned into a Qi tide as it swept towards the southeast direction firmly. Along the way, the Qi tide was like a brush that cleaned up the surrounding heaven and earth Qi in its path. In terms of strength, the Qi tide that Fang Yuan created could not compare to a true one. But its strength was quite amazing already. It could easily take the lives of mortal goo masters. This was also why Fang Yuan set up the formation in mini blue heaven. It was to prevent an accident from slaughtering countless life forms. It would cause him a huge loss. After moving for an hour, this Qi tide almost reached the aperture wall boundary of mini blue heaven. Fang Yuan inspected the results. He found that the heaven's will that he had specially arranged here was all cleanly removed. Not a trace was left. Furthermore, along the path that the Qi tide moved, heaven and earth Qi were well blended. It was peaceful and calm. Fang Yuan let out a breath of air. This was good news. With this formation, he could finally get rid of the huge problem of heaven's will. This carried huge significance to him. If he could not get rid of heaven's will, he would be trapped inside Qi Si's formation to prevent his location and identity from being exposed to heaven's will. The pressure that was weighing down on Fang Yuan dissipated to some extent. Now that he looked at the Qi tide again, he felt that he had a deeper understanding of it. Qi tides are created because of the differences in heaven and earth Qi. It is like how water flows down a cliff to create a waterfall. The Qi tides are similar. Because of the disappearance of the regional walls, with the unification of earth veins, the different heaven and earth Qi of the 5 regions merge and cause Qi tides to appear. In the future, when heaven and earth Qi becomes the same in all 5 regions, there will no longer be any Qi tides. As for the 5 regional walls, the truth is, they are all Qi tides in essence. The heaven and earth chi of the 5 regions were different. Thus, at the intersection points of these regions, there would be disparity in the heaven and earth chi. But because the earth veins were different back then, the heaven and earth chi could not fuse together like now. They eventually gathered and formed into dense regional walls that GU immortals suffer backlash when using killer moves in the 5 regional walls. It was similar to being in the chi tides. The reason was that their own heaven and earth chi differed from those in the regional walls. As for the 5 regional walls that Tao Zhu researched on for his entire life, they were simply just chi tides. However, his research was focused on the aspect of rule path. His main result was 5 restriction profound light chi. From this name alone, it showed a connection to chi path. Fang Yuan had Tao Zhu's true inheritance. He had half a portion of primordial origin's true inheritance, along with Qi Xiang's foundation and his own chi path attainment level. He had immense foundation. Fang Yuan quickly made some progress and obtained gains. Next, I will need to modify this formation slightly and scatter the subformations all over the aperture. I will send out chi tides to eliminate heaven's will. The problem of heaven's will has been settled, but the refinement of heaven path Dao marks is still a huge problem. But Fang Yuan had to put this problem aside for now, because he had to guard against demon immortal Qi Ju, who was coming for him. The identity of Qi Si ancestor was very valuable. During the Fate War, Fang Yuan tried his best to conceal it. He did not expose any clues that they were the same person. In order to preserve his Qi Si ancestor identity, Fang Yuan's main obstacle now was demon immortal Qi Ju. On one hand, Fang Yuan used the formation to settle his internal threat. On the other hand, he waited patiently for demon immortal Qi Ju to arrive. According to Fang Yuan's deductions, demon immortal Qi Ju was going to come here for a fight during this period of time. After waiting for some time, one day, a change occurred above Qi Si. White Qi waves surged in the sky. They were grand and unceasing, pressing down on Qi Si with immense force. Within the Qi waves, demon immortal Qi Ju's boyish figure could be vaguely seen, filled with demonic aura. Soon, his young but confident voice resounded. Junior Qi Si, I, demon immortal Qi Ju, have come here for you. Qi Ju, what is the matter? Fang Yuan appeared, activating Qi Si's formation as he stood on the surface of the sea, looking up and speaking. Demon immortal Qi Ju chuckled. I have just revived. I do not have my immortal goo now. I heard that you are the sole Qi path great expert at the peak of rank 8. I have come here to borrow some goo. Ha ha ha, borrow goo indeed. Fang Yuan laughed loudly. He could feel the arrogance in demon immortal Qi Ju's words. The immortal goo are with me. Whether you can get them will depend on your abilities. Demon immortal Qi Ju laughed as his young face showed deep battle intent. Good. Junior, I like your personality. Face this move of mine. Immortal killer move. Great Qi grasp. Instantly, a milky white Qi current hand flew out like a small mountain, pressing down on Fang Yuan. This was the move that made Di Zongsheng cry out in pain. It was incredibly profound, able to scatter or take form. Gu immortals could not deal with it easily. Fang Yuan breathed in deeply. He had a calm expression that showed no anxiety. He extended his hand and he pushed forward. Rumble. A Qi wall that was 100 li long soared up into the sky. It was grand and magnificent. The Qi wall collided into the hand. The hand was forced to retreat. It could not stop the Qi wall from flying up. Demon immortal Qi Ju smiled lightly. He pointed his finger as the Qi current hand scattered, attempting to infiltrate the Qi wall in the form of countless currents. But the attempt failed to do anything. Fang Yuan's Qi wall was not only huge, it was densely packed. Demon immortal Qi Ju had no way to penetrate it. Demon immortal Qi Ju's expression changed at this moment. This is a powerful Qi wall. What is the name of your move? Fang Yuan said frankly. I created this move specially for you. Qi Ju, I have not named it yet. Do you have any good suggestions? Demon immortal Qi Ju squinted uncontrollably as bright light shined in his eyes. The fact that Qi Si ancestor had just created this move was scarier than him having this move for a long time. This meant that Qi Si ancestor had very high Qi path attainment level. He could observe the battle situation and modify his own Qi path killer move successfully to deal with his enemies. Demon Immortal Qi Ju did not know that Fang Yuan was focused on modifying the 5 regional limit formation. This Qi Wall killer move was merely a small part of his effort. Even though Fang Yuan lost Wisdom Gu, he still had abundant wisdom path methods to as the Qi Wall continued to rise into the sky. The milky, white Qi currents that filled the sky had to retreat further upwards by the time it reached Demon Immortal Qi Ju. The Qi Wall suddenly transformed. It turned into 2 hands, one black and one white, clapping together from the right and left directions. Demon Immortal Qi Ju did not dodge. He allowed the black and white hands to grab him as the hands started to exert pressure. At the next moment, there was a loud voice coming from within the hands. She. Both hands were instantly absorbed into the silhouette of a concave, secluded domain. This time, it was Fang Yuan's turn to be shocked. He keenly sensed that the secluded domain of heaven and earth above Demon Immortal Qi Ju's head was more complete than the last time he saw it. Demon Immortal Qi Ju knew that ordinary methods could not work against Qi Si Ancestor. He directly used his trump card. Secluded domain of heaven and earth. Shi. Fang Yuan tried to use his methods. All sorts of Qi path. Killer moves attacked Demon Immortal Qi Ju, but Qi land would absorb them all. It was like a bottomless hole. Fang Yuan could not fill it up no matter what. With Qi land above his head, Demon Immortal Qi Ju had the advantage. He could not lose. He even started to critique Fang Yuan's Qi path killer moves casually. This pair of black and white hands is a nice concept. By including yin and yang Qi, you can use the attraction force of the two to amplify the power of this move. Your Qi path defenses are also quite impressive. Every single thread of your clothes is made of wind Qi. Are you trying to mimic the heavenly wind Qi wall? It is a true pity. If it were before, you would still be a threat to me. But regrettably, I have recently dismantled the turbulent flow sea area and also completely fixed Qi land. With this, I can counter all Qi path methods in the world. Junior Qi Si, you are no exception. How is it? May I borrow your immortal Gu now? The reason why Demon Immortal Qi Ju gained his reputation was because of this. It countered all Qi path methods in the world. All Qi path killer moves would be absorbed by Qi land, unless the killer move could surpass the limits of Qi land. But the problem was that Demon Immortal Qi Ju had already fully repaired Qi land. It experienced a qualitative change in battle strength. In a way, it was easier for him to deal with Qi Si Ancestor than Wu Shui, who controlled Dragon Palace. Chapter 2004 Heavenly Quartz Reinforcements. Turbulent white Qi covered the sky above Qi Si in a chaotic fashion. Demon Immortal Qi Ju stared down at Qi Si Ancestor while emitting a grand demonic aura. The phantom image of Qi land appeared in its full glory above his head, placing him in a highly advantageous position. Junior Qi Si, is my cultivation enough to borrow Gu from you? Demon Immortal Qi Ju said again. Fang Yuan felt heaviness. The previous exchange of moves had already allowed him to understand many details about Demon Immortal Qi Ju. There was no need to mention the various killer moves possessed by Demon Immortal Qi Ju. His trump card was clearly the secluded domain of heaven and earth, Qi land. With this secluded domain of heaven and earth, he could counter all Qi path Gu immortals in the world. If it were other paths, Demon Immortal Qi Ju would not have such huge dominance. But Qi Si Ancestor's main cultivation happened to be Qi path, and was thus suppressed heavily. This showed Demon Immortal Qi Ju's nature. He might be domineering in his actions, but he was not stupid. He knew how to play to his advantage. Thus, after he revived, he did not continue fighting with the 3 sides and chose to retreat wisely. He then completed his Qi land along the way and increased his battle strength. Now, he appeared in front of Qi Si Ancestor and demanded to borrow Immortal Gu. The moment he gains rank 8 Qi path Immortal Gu, his strength would definitely soar and firmly hold its position at the peak of the present age. With just Qi Si Ancestor's methods, Fang Yuan was indeed not Demon Immortal Qi Ju's match, but he was not panicked. Fang Yuan always took action after planning first. He had already known of Demon Immortal Qi Ju's threat and modified Qi Si's formation. As long as he retreated into the formation, he would be able to resist for some time. If Demon Immortal Qi Ju charged into the formation, Fang Yuan could detonate this large formation and create an opportunity to retreat. Speaking of it, Fang Yuan had obtained this detonation method from Fang Dichang. Back then, Fang Dichang set a trap for Fang Yuan in Divine Being Palace. He wanted to sacrifice Wisdom Path Gu Immortal Swanbu Jin by detonating the Immortal Gu House inside Divine Being Palace, and thus break through the impasse and refine Divine Being Palace in one move. Fang Yuan saw through the scheme and captured Fang Dichang. After soul-searching, he obtained the method of Immortal Gu House self-detonation. He then modified the method and arranged it in Qi Si's formation. The self-detonation would be extremely powerful. Even if it did not threaten Demon Immortal Qi Ju's life, it could obstruct him for a period of time. Fang Yuan was very confident about this. But if Fang Yuan used the formation's self-detonation to retreat, the value of this Qi Si ancestor identity would fall sharply. To preserve this identity, Fang Yuan intentionally restrained himself from using many Qi path methods during the Fate War. Even unlimited Qi Si was used just once. Were Fang Yuan to retreat, it would mean Qi Si ancestor was defeated by Demon Immortal Qi Ju. From then on, Qi Si ancestor's reputation would fall greatly, and his appeal to Eastern Sea would lower sharply. Demon Immortal Qi Ju frowned slightly. He had spoken twice, but Qi Si ancestor did not respond. His patience reached the limits. He snorted and was about to continue attacking when a blood-red ray of light suddenly pierced through the skies and shot right towards his face. Demon Immortal Qi Ju dodged quickly and turned around to see Demon Judgment Board appear in the horizon. Heavenly Court, you again. Demon Immortal Qi Ju sneered. I am not looking for trouble with you, but you are instead trying to provoke me. After such a heavy defeat in the Fate War, what confidence do you have to act like this? Heavenly Court defends humanity's righteous path. Our actions are not because of confidence, but because of our beliefs. A reply came from inside Demon Judgment Board. This was not Guyu Fang Zheng's voice. It was a female voice. Fang Yuan's heart shook slightly when he heard the voice. Qin Dingling came personally? So the reinforcement shown by my luck actually refers to her. Demon Immortal Qi Ju pointed his finger towards Demon Judgment Board. Qi currents surged and transformed, rapidly gathering into a lump. In an instant, hundreds of milky white Qi spheres shot towards Demon Judgment Board like meteors, creating a series of explosions. Demon Judgment Board's momentum stopped and shook violently from the explosions. Demon Immortal Qi Ju was about to say something when his expression changed suddenly. He quickly withdrew and moved away from his spot like lightning. The previous blood-red ray of light shot by Demon Judgment Board actually turned around to attack him. Demon Immortal Qi Ju evaded the blood-red light, but he did not expect golden light to shoot out from this blood-red light. The golden light condensed rapidly into a huge golden scissors above Demon Immortal Qi Ju's head. Crack, crack. The golden scissors cut Demon Immortal Qi Ju's head repeatedly, but the attacks seemed to be in vain. Demon Immortal Qi Ju, however, paled suddenly. This is a luck path method. He quickly activated investigative killer moves and immediately felt a loss. Damn it, these golden scissors are cutting my luck. Demon Immortal Qi Ju put great emphasis on maintaining his luck. After his revival and later dismantling Turbulent Flow Sea area to replenish Xi land, he had already consumed a lot of his luck. The attacks of the giant scissors were making things worse. Qi Si, Heavenly Court, I will remember this. If there is a chance in the future, I will settle it with both of you properly. Demon Immortal Qi Ju's voice resonated throughout the area. After this sentence, he immediately entered milky white Qi currents that filled the sky and left the battlefield rapidly. Retreating again? Guyu Fang Zhang, who was inside Demon Judgment Board, was somewhat stunned. On the contrary, other Heavenly Court members looked solemn. Qin Dingling sighed and explained to Fang Zhang. This is the terrifying thing about Demon Immortal Qi Ju. He always maintains his calm and has a clear judgment of the situation. We can only give him some trouble, but in the current situation, Qi Si ancestor would not just stay on the sidelines. With Demon Immortal Qi Ju's battle strength, it won't be difficult for him to oppose our joint attacks. But the battle will be intense, and his plan to borrow Qi Path Immortal Gu has no chance to succeed. So he directly chose to retreat to preserve his strength. Fang Zheng immediately realized, I understand. Demon Immortal Qi Ju is a person from 1,000,000 years ago after all. He has just revived, and doesn't have much contact with new paths. Against Demon Judgment Board's Blood Path attack and your Luck Path Golden Scissors, he prioritized on dodging them. When he gets familiar with these paths and modifies his killer moves, it will be much more difficult for us to confront him. That is correct. Qin Dingling nodded. Let's get out and have a talk with Qi Si Ancestor. Heavenly Court Gu Immortals filed out with Qin Dingling taking the lead and Gu Yu Fangzheng following closely behind. They put away Demon Judgment Board of their own initiative, demonstrating Heavenly Court's sincerity. Thank you for helping this old man get through this danger. Fang Yuan heaved a long sigh. Qin Dingling was wearing a golden armor and a cape, and in combination with her tall body, wide shoulders, and long legs, she emitted heroic aura. But this heroic aura was different from Feng Jinhuang's. It had a natural nobleness to it that felt like it was innately above others. But right now, Qin Dingling had a smile on her face as she showed the initiative to get close to Fang Yuan. She spoke. Ancestor, if not for your injuries, how could demon immortal Qi Ju be so rampant? Moreover, I saw that you were calm throughout the battle. You definitely have some trump cards up your sleeves. We might even have to ask for your understanding and to not blame us for interfering. These words were so polite that Fang Yuan felt like it was similar to a warm spring breeze. Heavenly Court's attitude was different compared to his previous life. At that time, Heavenly Court was oppressive and gave no way out for others. But in this life, Heavenly Court's leader took the initiative to treat others warmly. After the Fate War, Heavenly Court's Gu Immortals' attitude was completely different from before the war. Before the Fate War, Heavenly Court had Fate Gu and possessed huge advantages. But now that Fate Gu was destroyed, Heavenly Court's strength had diminished sharply. On one hand, they were actively recuperating, while on the other hand, they took the initiative to make alliances. Qi Si Ancestor became a goal in Heavenly Court's eyes and was the best ally for them. Demon Immortal Qi Ju wanted to find an expert to spar with. Naturally, he would first look for Qi Si Ancestor. After all, be they Fang Yuan or Feng Jiugu, their traces were vague and hard to find. However, Qi Si Ancestor stayed in Qi Si and could be found easily. Since Heavenly Court wanted to ally with Qi Si Ancestor, they naturally wanted to use Demon Immortal Qi Ju. After all, adding icing on the cake cannot compare to offering help in times of need. Heavenly Court helped Qi Si Ancestor ward off Demon Immortal Qi Ju. It was not a casual action, but was planned for a long time. It was not only Fang Yuan who had been waiting patiently for Demon Immortal Qi Ju. Heavenly Court was also the same. Friends, please come in. Let this old man prepare a simple feast to express some gratitude. Fang Yuan led the Heavenly Court Immortals into Qi Si's formation. He prepared a feast and hosted the Heavenly Court Immortals. During the banquet, the Xia Clan Immortals who were staying as guests were also invited to join. The Xia Clan Immortals were grateful towards the Heavenly Court Immortals. They had a very enthusiastic attitude. They had seen Demon Immortal Qi Ju's fight with Qi Si Ancestor. They felt very worried. Their territory was already seized by Wu Shui, so they could only put the hope of regaining their territory in Qi Si Ancestor. If Qi Si Ancestor was defeated or died, it would be a cruel blow to all the Xia Clan members. Thus, Heavenly Court helping Qi Si Ancestor was like helping them. When Qin Dingling saw the Xia Clan Immortals, she immediately expressed her sympathy and condemned the Two Heavens Alliance. She even promised she would certainly fight against this large variant human alliance. This attitude made Xia Clan have an even better impression of them. The face of Xia Clan's first Supreme Elder even reddened with joy. This was different from the empty words of the other Eastern Sea superforces. Heavenly Court had truly taken actions. Previously, Demon Judgment Board carried 3 immortals and attacked the 2 Heavens Grotto Heavens. Every Gu immortal in the world knew of this. Qin Dingling inquired about Xia Clan's recent situation. All the Xia Clan Gu immortals replied. They were hosted well by Qi Si Ancestor and would always be grateful. It was just that they had a worry about when they could return to their home. Qin Dingling realized Qi Si Ancestor's intention. He is raising his reputation. His ambition is truly big. Qin Dingling was happy to see this. As long as Qi Si Ancestor had greed and ambition, they would have the foundation to cooperate. Fang Yuan naturally did not invite the Xia Clan Gu Immortals to join the banquet for no reason. Through Qin Dingling's attitude towards the Xia Clan Gu Immortals, Fang Yuan was even more certain of Heavenly Court's purpose in coming here. At the same time, he was also making this native force, Xia clan, serve as a witness. After all, as an Eastern Sea Gu immortal, having close ties with Heavenly Court would lower Qi Si ancestors' authority in Eastern Sea. After a few rounds of wine, Fang Yuan took the initiative to speak. Friends from Heavenly Court, you helped me today. This old man shall remember this favor. If Heavenly Court has any trouble in the future, I am willing to contribute my strength to Heavenly Court. This was a clear gesture. Heavenly Court's immortals were spirited when they heard it. Qin Dingling put down her cup slowly and looked at Qi Si ancestor with a smile as she finally got to the main topic. To tell the truth, Heavenly Court is indeed facing some issues currently. We came to ask for ancestors' help. Oh, please explain. Fang Yuan asked straightforwardly. Qin Dingling did not mention the matter of the Qi harvest fruit emerging in Heavenly Court. Instead, she handed over an information path mortal gu to Qi Si ancestor. Fang Yuan probed with his consciousness and was immediately moved. The content of this information path mortal gu was the remaining half of primordial origin's true inheritance. Chapter 2005. Cooperating with Heavenly Core. The moment Fang Yuan saw this remaining half of primordial origin's true inheritance, he had a thought. It was not related to the true inheritance. Should I use this chance to capture these Heavenly Court Gu immortals in one fell swoop? This thought was very attractive. Qin Dingling was currently the temporary leader of Heavenly Court. Heavenly Court would definitely receive a huge blow if they lost her. Gu Yufeng Zheng was arranged by Heaven's will and was a crucial character to restrain the otherworldly demon Fang Yuan. If Fang Yuan killed him, he would be free from this shackle. The accompanying Prince Feng Xian, Bai Tsang Shui, and the rest were also pillars of Heavenly Court currently. If they were gone, it would be a great disaster to Heavenly Court and the whole of Central Continent's righteous path. But thinking about it, Fang Yuan gave up on this idea. His current strength was not complete, and he could not maintain his battle strength because of the heaven path down marks on the surface. The Heavenly Court immortals were conversing happily and looked relaxed. But how could they not be on guard in Qi Si ancestors' domain? It was just that they pretended to be relaxed to show their sincerity and friendliness. Even if Fang Yuan activated Qi Si's formation, the Heavenly Court immortals would definitely take out immortal Gu houses immediately and defend. Were he to attack the Heavenly Court immortals right now, whether it resulted in victory or defeat, Fang Yuan's Qi Si ancestor identity would be met with heavy scrutiny. In truth, Fang Yuan was willing to cooperate with Heavenly Court. Even though Heavenly Court tried all methods to create difficulties for Fang Yuan and attempted to kill him, even forcing him into near-death situations, as long as there were enough benefits that were useful for him in pursuing eternal life. Fang Yuan was not conflicted over cooperating with Heavenly Court. Heavenly Court wanted to cooperate with Qi Si ancestor for their own benefits. Fang Yuan would also similarly receive huge gains from cooperating with Heavenly Court. There was no need to mention the long-term benefits, merely Fang Yuan forcing back demon immortal Qi Ju with the help of Heavenly Court was enough to guarantee the value of this Qi Si ancestor identity. At the same time, Heavenly Court also took the initiative to give the remaining half of primordial origin's true inheritance to him. Fang Yuan was rather moved as he held the information path mortal Gu. Back then, he had spent much thought and effort to scheme for this Qi path true inheritance. Duke Long was shrewd. Thieving Heaven's method could reduce his lifespan, but he pretended it did not work and used half of primordial origin's true inheritance to successfully stabilize Qi Si ancestor. The remaining half was held firmly by Duke Long, and Fang Yuan was unable to get it. Fang Yuan did not hold any hope, but who could have thought that after the Fate War, he would actually obtain the remaining half of primordial origin's true inheritance through Qin Dingling, the remaining half of primordial origin's true inheritance. The triple Qi retraction Fang Yuan coveted was recorded. Qin Dingling cannot be underestimated. Fang Yuan sighed in his head. Without even mentioning any requests, Qin Dingling directly handed the remaining half of primordial origin's true inheritance to Qi Si ancestor. The courage needed for this move was truly immense. Qin Dingling's and Heavenly Court's sincerity was shown fully. If Qin Dingling knew I was Fang Yuan, I wonder what expression she would show. Duke Long helped the enemy previously, and now Qin Dingling continued this trend. Were Qin Dingling to know the person in front of her was the greatest culprit of the Fate War, and she had personally handed the true inheritance to him, she might cough blood from anger. I genuinely feel your sincerity. What troubles do you have? I will use all my strength to help Heavenly Court. Fang Yuan stored the information path mortal goo in his aperture. He already guessed Heavenly Court's troubles. Qin Dingling let out a sigh of relief as she saw Qi Si Ancestor putting away the information path mortal goo. What she had been worried about was that possibility of Qi Si Ancestor not agreeing to help. After all, Qi Si Ancestor had been a secluded cultivator who did not care about things that did not concern him. Maybe the information given by the reborn Fang Yuan made Qi Si Ancestor realize that if he were to continue his secluded cultivation, Heavenly Court would look for trouble with him. So he changed his way of doing things. Qin Dingling did not know how Heavenly Court became enemies with Qi Si Ancestor. But since Qi Si Ancestor believed Fang Yuan's words, it was clear Fang Yuan had provided enough evidence. This was a mess that they were not responsible for. With the destruction of Fate Gu, the future had changed. Heavenly Court was unable to find out anything about it. Qin Dingling could only rely on the current situation to infer and deduce that it was normal for Qin Dingling to have some worries. After all, Qi Si Ancestor had a hostile relationship with Heavenly Court before and had only turned neutral because of Duke Long's mediation. Right now, to recruit Qi Si Ancestor, Qin Dingling had to take out something that Qi Si Ancestor would not be able to refuse. Qi Si Ancestor accepted Primordial Origin's true inheritance and immediately showed a firm attitude of helping Heavenly Court. Qin Dingling was very relieved. Her scheme did not end here. Primordial Origin's true inheritance was only bait. Qi Si Ancestor would require suitable Qi Path Immortal Goo to activate the killer moves recorded in it, and these Qi Path Immortal Goo were all in Heavenly Court's treasuries. These were the chips to tempt Qi Si Ancestor later on. Perhaps we can still use Demon Immortal Qi Ju's pressure to push Qi Si Ancestor to join Heavenly Court. This inspiration emerged in Qin Dingling's mind, but was temporarily suppressed. She began to explain the issues Heavenly Court was facing. Fang Yuan stroked his beard as he ascertained his guesses. Just like he predicted, the Qi harvest fruit appeared in Heavenly Court as well. With Duke Long's sacrifice and the Immortal Graveyard's destruction, Heavenly Court no longer had a Qi path expert to stabilize the situation. Thus it was very difficult for them to resolve the issue of the Qi harvest fruit. Qin Dingling handed Primordial Origin's true inheritance straightforwardly, and also hoped this true inheritance could help Qi Si Ancestor in dealing with the issue of the Qi harvest fruit much more quickly. Fang Yuan thought for a bit and nodded. I will handle this matter of the Qi harvest fruit. But I have no methods to deal with it now and need to be in closed cultivation for some time to research Primordial Origin's true inheritance. At this moment, Xia Clan's first Supreme Elder suddenly said, Lord Ancestor, you are injured and have to recuperate first. Your safety not only concerns Eastern Sea, but is also related to maintaining the overall situation of humanity and the variant humans. He was worried and afraid that if Qi Si Ancestor were to collaborate with Heavenly Court, Xia Clan's matters would be pushed aside. Qin Dingling smiled. You don't have to worry. I am going to talk about the Two Heavens Alliance now. Wu Shuai is currently a huge demon and also a sinner who invaded Heavenly Court. We absolutely won't let him develop. We came here to ask for Ancestor's help as well as to deal with this variant human force. After a slight pause, she continued. Heavenly Court is willing to take out immortal materials to finance Ancestor and Xia Clan, to help you reclaim your lost land. In the future battles, if necessary, Heavenly Court will send reinforcements to lend a hand in fighting against the variant human races. Xia Clan's first Supreme Elder exclaimed in shock and bowed. Heavenly Court is righteous and worthy of being the #1 force of humanity. I am extremely grateful. The whole of Xia Clan is immeasurably grateful. Qin Dingling chatted with Xia Clan's first Supreme Elder for a while, deepening their relationship quickly. Heavenly Court lost the Fate War, but it did not lack resources. It only lacked manpower in this trip to Eastern Sea. Heavenly Court wanted to entice Qi Si Ancestor while also targeting Xia Clan's Gu Immortals. Roping in a native force of Eastern Sea would establish their foundation in the future 5 regions chaotic war. This was a long-term plan. The unfortunate thing was that Heavenly Court and Xia Clan's immortals did not know Wu Shui and Qi Si ancestor were the same person in essence. This was truly a huge secret that would shock the world. Fang Yuan nodded without hesitating. I will never let the Two Heavens Alliance exist in Eastern Sea. I will certainly drive them out and exterminate them thoroughly. Qin Dingling raised her hand. In my view, the Two Heavens Alliance has human forces as well. It is just that the Two Heavens Alliance is being firmly controlled by variant humans currently. These human forces are not different from us. We are all humans. We should stick together and unite. So, there is no harm in splitting them first before we take action. Fang Yuan immediately understood the meaning. Could it be that some human forces in the Two Heavens Alliance have already surrendered to you? Qin Dingling shook her head. It is not like that. We were able to capture a rank 8 Gu immortal. She is called Granny Skeleton, the current owner of Shattered Bone Grotto Heaven in the Two Heavens. Granny Skeleton was persuaded by Enchang's words and wanted to join the Two Heavens Alliance. But halfway in her journey, she was ambushed and captured by Heavenly Court. Naturally, it was Knight Heavenly Wolf Lord who provided this information. Lady Cold Ash wanted to unite the human forces in the Two Heavens and fight for authority in the Two Heavens Alliance. She had already made Knight Heavenly Wolf Lord one of her helpers, but she could have never expected Knight Heavenly Wolf Lord to have already sided with Heavenly Court. Granny Skeleton? Fang Yuan paused a bit before asking, is this person here right now? Qin Dingling shook her head. My Heavenly Court uses virtuous means. We let her go after persuading her for some time. The eyes of Xia Clan's first Supreme Elder opened wide at these words. He felt some worries regarding Heavenly Court's naivety, but did not speak up. Fang Yuan, however, looked at Qin Dingling with deep meaning and smiled. Looks like Granny Skeleton is a crucial character, and the key to tempt her to join us should lie on the Qi Harvest Fruits matter. Qin Dingling laughed and raised her cup in praise. Ancestor, you have discerning vision. The issue of the Qi Harvest Fruit appeared in Shattered Bone Grotto Heaven as well. If we can solve this issue, we can rope in Granny Skeleton and other human forces. Good plan. If we can rope in these human forces, it would be their loss and our gain. This will be a great blow to the Two Heavens Alliance, and there is even a chance they will disintegrate. Those of other races have different motives. The human Gu immortals in the Two Heavens are of the same race as us. As long as we show enthusiasm and sincerity, it should not be difficult to recruit them. Xia Clan's immortals smiled and conversed. Some clapped and laughed. The atmosphere of the banquet became increasingly lively. Fang Yuan had a smile as he observed the Gu immortals' expressions from his seat. If they knew their enemy had already known of their plan before they even implemented it, how would they feel? Fang Yuan's gaze moved around before finally stopping on Qin Dingling's face. Although she only cultivates luck path, her leadership is up to standard. At her level, she should have reached the level of being proficient in mimicking other paths too. Ordinary wisdom path rank 8s are also not superior to this. Of course, there is still a large gap between her and Fairy Ziwei.